What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. So God's special people, God's chosen people, based off what white people like to say, right? They are currently, and have been in the past, right now, terrorizing Christians, attacking Christians, beating Christians, hurting Christians, right? Good Jesus, Bible thumping, loving Christians. Yes, God's chosen people. The ones that we, give welfare to. Yes, they are using our tax money, right? For all intents and purposes, as far as, I guess, white Christendom has, come up with that, they're special people that they must do everything for. And we must, as Americans, we must finance with our American hard work. We go to work 40, 50, 60 hours a day. And a part of our check has to go towards these chosen people so they can have universal health care, so they can have a military that can protect themselves, so they can have a military to commit genocide on multiple countries anytime they want. God's chosen people says F you to you Christians. Spits in your face on a daily basis. Imagine that. Now, this supposed to be America, all right? We supposed to have the premium white supremacists. How, in white God's good earth, are you white Americans with a capital M, gonna take your good red-blooded American taxpayers' money, right, and allow these God's chosen people who you finance, I finance, who we facilitate their entire lives while we suffer because the money that could do it for us is doing it for them. They spit in your face. They spit in your face. They own your politicians, right? They own the corporations that are destroying your communities, right? They get your tax money to finance their businesses, to subsidize their corporations that's destroying your communities, right? Right? To commit genocide on other people with your American hard-earned American taxpayers' money. How are you going to be America's white supremacist? You're supposed to be top white supremacists of the world, Craig. And you're going to let this little punk-ass freaking country, there's only like 7 million of them. There's only 7 million of these goddamn European criminal illegal aliens from Poland, Russian, Ukraine, and various other European, Eastern European countries that illegally migrated over there to the Middle East via sponsored by the British and American government. Huh? You're supposed to be better than them. Huh? Listen, you are more athletic than them. They the most unathletic white people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? They can't even fight. Y'all gonna let them whip your ass like that. They ain't whip my ass. All right, I ain't gonna have no white supremacists supreming over my white supremacists while they white supremacists over me. Shit. I know my tax money going there, but it ain't my goddamn fault. Black folks, we ain't never been on those mofos side. We ain't talking about the Jews, okay? The Jews don't like them motherfuckers either. The real ones, the actual people who practice it as a religion and they, believe in peace and all. I'm talking about, because most of the Jews don't like it. I'm talking about the ones outside of Israel, right? But in Israel, those Neanderthal savage barbarians in Israel, they don't even look human or act human. They spit in pastors' face in front of the church. Spit. They beat up nuns, old nuns, men, God's chosen peoples. They're males, supposed to be the premium white primate on the planet with his yarmulke and shit. That gives him superpowers and shit. He just pushes old nun right on the edge of a goddamn concrete block with her head hitting it. And he walk off. And everybody, all them other chosen people was just looking. And this is some daily basis shit. This is some normal shit. This is some regular shit. Ain't nobody really fighting against this shit in God's chosen land that was picked 75 years ago by some white people because they couldn't find a way to justify putting Israel in Africa because there's no way the lie would have worked. Even though I don't understand how the lie working now. Well, it shouldn't be lying. because them people are European. That's why they make doing DNA illegal, because God knows they don't want the truth to come out utilizing, modern day technology. But yeah, for all you super Christians, for all you Americans out there, for all you white supremacists out there, for all y'all, the God's chosen people is shitting and spitting in your face, and you paying for it. How about that? How's that feel? How's that feel? And what you gonna do about it? That's the question. That's what I want. I've been waiting to see when, this white supremacist gonna beat that white supremacist. I've been waiting to see it for a while, because y'all been battling for quite a while. When the American white supremacists gonna beat the global white supremacists? They can't fight. Listen, they're trying to marry our military with their military, because they know the next president, whether Democrat or Republican, gonna cut their ass off, because now we know. You see, for years, we didn't know how much welfare we were giving God's chosen people and all the devilish shit they was doing, unless you was actually doing some research. But now everybody knows. And I think from the far left to the far right, we all in agreements on this one thing, ain't we? This time, If we want to find some shit to unify on, the most racist white folk and the most pro-black, pan-African black folk, we can all say we don't like those motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers are and truly are the problem creator. We could both come up, right, with the assumption that they are our collective problem, can't we? We can, can't we? That they are our collective problem. And I have witnessed in social media and real life that we will stop our bullshit for about 5 minutes to deal with that shit. Now, when we gonna do it? When we gonna do it so we can get back to fighting about the dominant culture in America? And we all know we gonna win that. I'm just letting y'all know. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? If you want to if you don't want to fight two fights on two fronts, we're going to have to unify, take care of these mofos, and then we can get back to what we got going on. I'm just saying, though, because that shit's ridiculous. We would have more money to deal with our own problems if we wasn't giving it to these God's chosen people. Ridiculous. The world we live in. We are not as advanced as we think we are. We're not utilizing the best of us at all. The best things that we could do as human beings, we're not using that shit. Because right now, the subhumans are in charge. And just because they're wearing suits and they got money and they got yachts and they got mansions don't mean shit. That's just a rich subhuman barbarian. That's it. That's just a criminal whose family been getting away with it for years. That's it. That's it. It's time for justice, goddammit. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Anti-Christian attacks are on the rise in Israel, specifically in Jerusalem. Victims say that the cases that have become public in recent weeks are just the tip of the iceberg. But there are also voices in Israel speaking out against the growing violence. DW correspondent Jan-Philipp Schultz meets an abbot in Jerusalem who says that he is a victim of almost daily threats and intimidation.
When Nicodemus Schnabel leaves his monastery in Jerusalem, he has learned to be ready for anything. Every day, people spit in front of him and insult him.
Soldiers are spitting too, in uniform, and this is, people in uniform spitting on you. Now, what shall I say?
A recent video of a nun attacked in broad daylight has caused widespread shock. Many Christians in Jerusalem say that intimidations and harassment have become commonplace.
It's a young monk. They're really spitting on me in the nighttime, in dark alleys without eyewitnesses, because they know if I attack the monk, it's not accepted. Now it's during daylight, people around, and they don't care.
Israeli organizations report a sharp rise in violent attacks on Christians. At the same time, initiatives promoting interfaith dialogue are coming under increasing pressure.
The vast majority of Israelis think it's a very severe incident and these people have to be punished severely. But I think there's no enough condemning from the authorities, from the government, from the politician. The opposite, they're kind of inflaming and inciting the atmosphere.
Critics say that Prime Minister Netanyahu's far-right coalition partners in particular are fueling the tension. Ultra-nationalist politician Itamar Ben-Gvir, currently security minister, has repeatedly downplayed the attacks on Christians and in the past even justified them.
It's an ancient Jewish tradition that when you pass by a monastery or a priest, you spit. You can agree or disagree, but when you spit to the side, I don't think it's an offense.
As a result, fear is spreading in Jerusalem's Christian quarter. Many residents refuse to speak publicly.
We are afraid because we are alone. We are girls, and nobody will help.
There will be more and more problems. No one is trying to solve these problems.
We don't have much hope. Our only hope is our children get better education than what we did, so they can find their future somewhere else.
Many here say they remember when the city was proud to be a holy place for many religions. But those times appear to be over. A recent study found that half of Christians under 45 are considering leaving.
We know how badly we treated Jews, and also we see the really rising phenomenon of anti-Semitism. But this is not an excuse not to look on the realities here on the ground.
Abbot Nicodemus hopes that Jerusalem will continue to have room for Jews, Christians and Muslims. But for that to happen, he says the world must pay attention.
And we are joined now by Hannah Benkovsky, who we just saw in that report. She is program director of the Jerusalem Center for Jewish-Christian Relations at the Rossing Center for Education and Dialogue in Jerusalem. Thank you so much for your time. You mentioned that, most Israelis view these incidents as serious. Why do you think that there's still a lack of strong response from authorities?
Well, I think what we find is that people find it severe and think that people need to be punished, but the authorities are reluctant. I don't know if it's lack of care or if it's laziness or if it's policy or it's somewhere in between. But we unfortunately don't see the law enforced properly in these cases. We also don't find enough condemning from authorities, from mayors, from politicians. Maybe they don't take the problem seriously, maybe they don't care, but we do know that the impact on the communities and on the people here is very hard.
From your perspective, what are the main drivers behind the recent rise in attacks and harassment targeting Christians in Jerusalem?
So I would say we defined two kinds of reasons of background for the attackers. Some do it for religious reasons. So we have some ultra-Orthodox who present their resentment to Christianity that based on theology and history, and they're usually the one who spit and when they pass nearby a church or a priest. And then we have also a combination of religious extremism with nationalism, people who reject otherness within the Israeli society, within the people in the Holy Land. And for them, the Christian or the Palestinian or a foreigner is someone that should not be here. And therefore they present that with attack, verbal attack or spitting or something even worse. Again, we're talking about 4% of the Israeli population who, in a survey we did in September 2025, who said that they support this kind of incident. So 4%, it's a very, very low percent. It's very few people who involved in that, but the impact it has is very big because the people feel that the community, the lay people feel that if their priest is being attacked, if someone is spitting on their priest, it's like if they're being rejected and pushed out from their homes, from their country. So they feel uncomfortable. They don't feel safe. So either it's because it's a religious thing, pure religious, or it's combined with nationalistic attitudes. For the Christian, it doesn't matter. They feel uncomfortable. They feel being rejected in their homes.
How is rhetoric playing into that? Because, we look at the current political climate. There's certain rhetoric from certain politicians. I'm thinking from the far right. How are you seeing it impacting interfaith relations on the ground as well?
So what we see in the last couple of years is polarization within the society in the Holy Land. So Jews, Palestinians, there's more polarization. There's more mistrust. There's lack of interest in dialogue. There's a lot of fear. And I think politicians are using it. And one of the things that we analyze in our report, our annual report at the Rossing Center, is that this political and social climate encourage people to be more aggressive toward the other, and also more reluctant to come into dialogue. So it could be an interfaith or Israeli-Palestinian. It's always have this both aspect, the national and the religious. That's why we try to combine both and have a dialogue between Israelis and Palestinians, but always relating to the religious aspect. It's becoming more complicated when there's lack of interest, lack of trust, and from the politician and the authorities do not encourage it, but the opposite, they encourage more polarization.
Your organization works on both dialogue and education. What practical steps could the Israeli government and law enforcement take to improve the situation for Christian communities and interfaith dialogue?
So we find that the two ways to change the situation, to change relationship between Jews, Christian, Muslim, Israelis, and Palestinians is first of all to bring people together, but also to educate about each other. One of the things that we noticed that Israeli Jews know very little, and again, I will talk about my community, but know very little about the other, about Christians, about Muslim, about the religion, about their connection to the land, about their culture. So you have to know something about the other before you come to meet with him. And through that, you can build relationship and bridges. And the authorities need to encourage that by giving it a space. Now we notice that civil society organization find that their spaces shrinked and there's less place for this activity, and we have to encourage the authorities to also to allow this space for these activities to happen.
We want to thank you so much for your time, Hannah Benkovsky, joining us from the Jewish Christian Relation, the Jerusalem Center for Jewish Christian Relations at the Rossing Center for Education and Dialogue in Jerusalem. We appreciate your time.
Fuck them again. Fuck them. Them and you is not friend. Fuck them. Them no need to be in your life. So why you making them cause you nothing but trouble and strife? Fuck them.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.